What's up, shitbirds? It's the Chainsaw. Welcome to another fine edition of the Nerd Review Series. In this episode, I will be making up stuff about the AK-12. Warning, this is all bullshit. I have absolutely no nerd data to back up anything I'm saying, so take it with a grain of salt. This is just my dumb opinion, so don't be offended if I make fun of your favorite gun or something like that. You guys are bigger than that. Grow a set of balls. I'm just kidding, I don't care. Anyway, I'm going to break down the AK-12 into some basic categories. Accuracy, power, range, fire rate, hip fire, and versatility. The clips I'm showing should reflect those things. They aren't beast gameplays as a lot of gamer douchebags like to call them. You're not gonna see me get 398 kills and get 5 Lokis and 32 who gives a shits. I don't care about any of that stuff, so you rarely will get it from me, mostly because I'm terrible, but whatever. I simply want to break down the gun and rank it among the other assault rifles. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, check them out. I went over the SC-2010 and the SA-805. As of right now, the SC-2010 is the top dog assault rifle. But I think the AK is pretty good and it'll rank up there. But in short, the AK-12 is a pretty powerful, often used weapon. I think a lot of people like it because it has the letters A and K in it. And I don't blame them. It's a good gun to use, especially if you're having trouble getting kills. This gun isn't without faults though. So let's start off with those and then we'll work. Let's start off with the good things, and then we'll get into the negative Nancy shit. But so the best thing about this gun is its power. This gun kills quickly. 3 or 4 shots from pretty much anywhere will kill a guy. You can win a lot of gun battles with this gun if used properly. And by used properly, I mean be careful running around like an idiot with this gun. This gun, in my opinion, is meant for mid-range type battles. You will win those easily. Most of them, I would say. Once you get outside that mid-range, though, I think the gun starts to fail on you, especially from afar. It gets a little jiggly. It's hard to control. Up close, I'll go over that in a minute, but it does pretty well up there. But I wouldn't recommend running around like an asshole trying to hip fire everybody and rush around like you have a submachine gun. But just be careful with it. But the power of this gun makes up for its lack of speed. It's just a killing machine. It's pretty awesome for that. All in all, in terms of power, I feel that it's probably one of the most powerful. I think it is the most powerful gun in its class. So power gets a 5 out of 5. Versatility. Versatility to me is how well this gun handles attachments. I also determine how fun this gun is to use. If I just get frustrated with it, it jiggles too much, I can't stand playing it with it, I will just call it a piece of shit, and its versatility goes down a lot. There are those guns, I haven't gotten to them yet, but it's coming soon, so stay tuned. But this gun, in terms of versatility, is really good. You don't need to use red dot sights or holographics. The iron sights are small, but they're pretty good too. Which leaves you a lot of room to experiment with a bunch of other attachments. The single fire attachment is really good. I wouldn't say it's the best. I would recommend probably just using a suppressor or the muzzle brake with the foregrip. But it's pretty awesome. On the other hand, the 3-round burst, I think, is probably the worst attachment for this. I would really not recommend using the 3-round burst for anything. But that being said, the AK supports several different kinds of gameplay, and if you're a camper, which I know you're there, but you'll probably love this gun. So versatility gets a 4 out of 5. Hip fire, due to its really slow rate of fire, which I'll get into in a minute, I just assumed that the AK would just be monkey balls when it came down to determining its ability to hip fire. To my surprise, I did quite well with hip fire with this gun, even while using the single fire attachment, which is shocking. To be honest, I don't really remember losing many gun battles up close at all. I still don't recommend rushing around with this weapon too much. I do just because I get bored a lot, but it's like I said before, it's meant for mid-range to kind of far away, so getting up close with this gun, chances are you probably won't win, but it only takes a couple shots to kill somebody, so what do I know? I think overall hip fire for this gun gets above the it's above the rest, so I think it gets a 4 out of 5. Okay, so those are the good things. Well, I should say the great things. All the shit I just talked about makes the AK a cut above most other guns. I should say that its hip fire power and versatility are exceptional, like my biceps. But let's take a look at the not so great things. These are, when I say not so great, they're not really. They're more nitpicking. I really don't have too many negative things to say about this gun, but these are some not so great things. Accuracy. The AK sucks in terms of accuracy. It's probably the worst aspect of this gun. But without a foregrip, which I strongly recommend, the AK shoots like a fire hose sometimes. It's random too. Like sometimes it'll shoot fine, but other times it'll just go all over the place. And it's kind of like my first time having sex. But its jiggly factor is frustrating to say the least. It, like I said many times before, it has good iron sights, so that helps. But it's just you shoot guys from afar, and it's like sometimes it kills them in a couple shots. Sometimes I feel like I shoot them for 3 days and they still don't die, especially with a suppressor. But due to its jiggliness factor, I would give it a 3 out of 5. It's not the worst, but it's certainly not the best. Range. The AK's range is deceiving. If you have a good trigger finger and you can hit your shots, this gun hardly ever fails on you. But this gun's jiggliness factor really makes like I said before, long range shots really, really shitty. The single fire attachment seems to help it a bit. But if you just jam down that trigger button, you're just not going to hit anything, and you're going to be all pissed off. You're going to cuss at the television. Your mom's going to come down and yell at you, and then you're going to spend the rest of the day in your room and watch Yo Gabba Gabba, or whatever the hell you kids do these days. So overall, the range of this weapon gets a 3 out of 5. It's pretty mediocre. Fire rate. This is probably, it's without, most people know that the worst aspect of this gun is going to be its power. Its fire rate. Its power, it's made powerful because its fire rate is terrible. I don't think it really matters all that much, though. You substitute the ability to shoot fast for, the ability to mow dudes down in a couple shots. I don't really see a big to-do about it. I think it's fine, but its fire rate is slow, so I gotta give it a 3 out of 5, but it's a little misleading. I think the fire rate doesn't matter. Don't let its slow rate of fire deter you from choosing this weapon. So that, take that. My final nerd analysis. This gun is pretty awesome. It's the balls, really. It's good for almost every map except for maybe the strike zone boards, which is few and far between with Call of Duty. But it mows people down quickly, has great iron sights, it's versatile, and just looks sexy. I'd highly recommend this gun, especially to those who just got this game or have been getting their asses handed to them by super tryhard dickheads. You'll win most gun battles if you get good with the trigger finger, and you'll make Call of Duty Ghost just a tad less irritating to play, which I know is an almost certain impossibility. My super secret Jedi chainsaw class setup. Now, I obviously use the AK. I would use a suppressor and a foregrip. A foregrip's a must. I'd say pretty much any of the attachments are good except for the 3-round burst. Don't waste your time with tacticals or lethals. They're stupid. Don't use the secondary either unless you want to be a team player and shoot down a hind helicopter with your bazooka. But other than that, don't bother with the secondary. Just save it for other things. My perks, I usually use the same perks for my assault classes. Usually because I can get a lot of kills with my assault rifles. But so I use the mid-range. I'd say mid to upper range score streaks. I use the IMS mainly for my Word Vomit series. Check it out. It's fantastic. But I also use the Battle Hind, which is a hit or miss. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. And I use the Griffin, which also is frustrating to use sometimes, but I use it anyway. Until next time, ladies, eat a dick. See ya.